come over me.
Rosa Louise Macaulay Parks was born in Tuskegee,
And
Alabama on
before
February 4th
I'd
in
be a
1913.
slave,
The home Rosa
I'd
Parks had
be
spent her childhood until
buried
she was
in
2
my
is located in
grave
Abbeville, Alabama.
and go
Rosa's
home
mother,
to my
Leona
Lord
Macaulay, and
and
father,
be
James Macaulay, moved her and her younger brother, Sylvester Macaulay, to Pine Level. Rosa Parks had attended multiple schools when she lived in her hometown. The first school she had ever attended was Highlander Research and Educational Center. During the time she had spent when she moved in with her grandparents at the age of 11, she attended Montgomery Industrial School for Girls. There she would receive her high school diploma and continue her education at the Alabama State Teachers College, felt very passionate about, that being the rights of African Americans. She had dedicated time to fight for every African American's civil rights, including her own, because she felt as though there shouldn't discrimination or segregation due to the color of one's skin. Parks had believed in freedom, and Parks had settled down, moving to Hampton, Virginia, with her husband. She had worked in the Detroit civil rights movement and had even become an active member of the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement for Colored People, to specifically end segregation laws that mistreated different races. One of the most famous movements Rosa Parks had inspired took place on a bus. This had all started from a comment from a regular bus driver by the name of James Frederick Blake. Blake had asked Rosa to remove herself from the bus for a white passenger to take a seat since there were no more seats available. Parks didn't believe she should have to move because of her race, even though it was the law. This interaction became the famous bus caught and would be a new inspiration for people to speak up for themselves and their race. Rosa Parks was told to give up the seat on the bus she had taken, though she believed it wasn't fair to African Americans, so she had refused, denying the bus driver's request to give up her seat on the crowded bus with both races. According to white citizens, this act was thought to be noisy and stubborn altogether. Manola Desir Smith had witnessed the arrest of Rosa Parks in 1955 and the bus incident. On December 1st, Rosa Parks was arrested at the scene of the bus incident in Montgomery, Alabama, for disorderly conduct and refusing to give up her seat to a white male upon the request of James Blake and disobeying the laws of segregation. She had then been put on trial for the bus incident. Parks was booked, fingerprinted, and carefully incarcerated. On December 5th, Parks was found guilty of violating segregation laws, fined $10 plus another $4 in court costs, with a suspended sentence. Following her arrest, a bus boycott was started in Montgomery that had lasted for at least 381 days. In the articles, it was stated that around 4,000 African Americans had voted to stop using buses as a resource for transportation after the news of Parks' bus incident had spread until a satisfactory arrangement was reached between all passengers. By June 5, 1956, the bus boycott had caused a 13th-month mass protest that ended with U.S. Supreme Court and led to segregation on public buses. This event showed not only U.S. citizens, but whites and those of colors, the aggression the government had put towards African Americans for their civil rights and how quickly the Congress was to segregate them instead of reaching a compromise. Although this only motivated color civil rights activists to speak louder.
When Rosa Parks decided to stay seated in December of 1955, I was 2.5 years old. I know that what Rosa Parks did made a huge difference in my life.
Along with these inspirations she gave to other African Americans when protesting to keep her seat, Rosa Parks went on to become more outspoken about the rights she believed in African Americans deserved. Many of Rosa Parks' speeches had sparked the topic of civil rights for people of color and continued on to give hope for younger generations of colored Americans to follow. Rosa Parks was a smart and compassionate woman who believed in the civil rights African Americans deserved. This belief had led Rosa Parks having done something incredible. she had achieved a goal of opening everyone's eyes with an incident on the Montgomery bus. She was able to publicly express her views on segregation and the discrimination of people with color faced. As she did this, she was confident and brave throughout her actions, even as threats from white citizens were told to her. This inspirational movement had caused her to gain the nickname, the Mother of the Civil Rights Movement, by stepping up to discrimination and doing the right thing for all races.
As I look back on those days, it's just like a dream, and the only thing that bothered me was that we waited so long to make this protest and to let it be known wherever we go that all of us should be free and equal and have all opportunities that others should have. When I was arrested, I was 42 years old. And there were so many needs for us to continue to work for freedom, because I didn't think that we should have to be treated in the way we.
Her story and what she is telling them in her own words tonight.
I remember well these struggles that we went through during my childhood when the Ku Klux Klan was very active. It just made us stronger to continue the struggle for freedom. This was the seat that I took as I got on the bus. A few white people boarded the bus, and one man was left standing, and I certainly did not plan to stand up, and I didn't consider myself breaking the law because I was in what was supposed to be our part of the bus. So my arrest brought about a protest from the people of Montgomery that lasted 381 days. And when we did go back on the bus, we didn't. The Supreme Court had handed down a decision that there would be no more racial segregation in transportation.